Okay guys, so in case you were wondering, I'm on day 1091, so that's over 3 years in. And the reason that we're this far into the game is because I probably haven't been too efficient with my time. I kind of messed up leveling my companions, so I didn't have party skills for a long time. So I didn't have surgery and first aid, so after every battle, I would have to wait a long time for my companions and I to heal. And on top of that, I probably overtrained my companions a little bit on the bandits. And overall, just maybe a little bit too much of waiting at taverns for the next weekly payment. But after 3 years, now I'm almost ready to conquer Calradia. So as far as my experience goes beating the game, I've beaten Native twice. But even though I've played a lot of other mods, I haven't beat any of them yet. And the reason for that is because when I would play other mods, I wouldn't usually play by like the normal rules. I would play a character and just do battles and just try to make me and my companions as strong as possible and kind of like add tweaks into. And I would usually play a character until I got like either 10,000 or 15,000 kills and then move on to the next mod. Okay, so I know this is a bit far into this playthrough to do this, but I am going to do a faction overview. And I'm not going to do this for other mods, I'm just going to do this because it's the base game. Okay, so I'll start with the Kyrgyz Khanate, and apparently they're based off the Mongol and Turkic Khanates or something. And they have a lot of horse archers. And I actually do consider them and Vagars to be the two weakest factions, while the other four factions are pretty strong. They're decent in field battles, but honestly, they're not the best. So their gimmick is that pretty much every one of their units, except the recruits, will have horses. Which can make them annoying to fight. And I will have links to these images in the description. So as far as their troop tree goes, the Lancers are decent, but they're nothing compared to Swati Knights and Sardin Mamluks. And their horse archers are alright, but they're not the best. And the Kyrgyz are generally weak in sieges. Alright, next I'll go over the Vagars, and apparently they're based off Eastern European kingdoms. And yeah, they are very well rounded. They're kind of like the Jack of all trades faction. And they do have the best archers in the game in the Vagar marksmen, but while they have the best archers, they don't have the best marksmen. That would go to the Rodok sharpshooter, but their marksmen are decent. Their guards are mediocre. Their guards are decent, but pretty mediocre overall, and their knights aren't the best either. The next two factions are infantry-only factions and don't have any cavalry. So next we're going over Rodoks, and apparently they're based on northern Italian states. And yeah, they don't have any cavalry. They only have crossbowmen and spearmen. So they have a pretty basic troop tree, but I would say that they have the second best infantry in the game in the Rodok Sergeant. They're really tanky and they're really tanky and strong and good in sieges. And the Rodok Sharpshooter, in my opinion, is the best marksman unit in the game, better than anything else, especially in sieges. And I would highly recommend using them. And it's probably best to use these guys in hilly terrain. All right, next we have the Kingdom of Nords. They're based on Vikings, and like the Rodoks, they have no cavalry. Their archers are decent, and they're actually pretty good in melee combat, so they can fend for themselves. But compared to some of the other archers, they're not as good when it comes to shooting. And their infantry line is the best in the game. The Nord Huskarls are really, really strong, but they're really high level, so it's hard to get them. And then the last two factions are really balanced. Okay, so apparently Saranid Sultanate is based on the Middle East and Northern Africa. So I believe the Saranid Master Archers are the tankiest archers, but they're not that great. Saranid Guards are mediocre, but the Saranid Mamluks are really, really good. They're the best cavalry in the game, along with the Swadian Knights, and it's tough to say which unit is actually better of the two. Okay, and last but not least, the Kingdom of Swadia, and they're based on Western European kingdoms. Their sharpshooters are decent, and I'd say that their infantry line is pretty good too. I'd say they might be the third best behind the Rodoks and Nords. But the thing that makes this faction so good is the Swadian Knights, and they're really, really strong. I could be wrong on my evaluations, but that's just kind of the gist I got from playing this game for a while. Alright, so I just found Nizar at Nara, and I guess I'll make him my minister. Take a while for lords to start trying to join me. Whoa, 60... I just got 63k? How? So I just looked at the budget report, and I'm not seeing how I got 63k. So the only thing I can think of is that maybe Bardock Castle didn't have a lord, so it wasn't assigned while it was under the Kingdom of Saranid for like a while. And then when I came and captured it, all the rents that were piling up for however long that was went to me. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably what happened though. And it might take a while for lords to start joining me because Usually you have people trying to join you when you have lands to give. So every time you capture a town or castle, you'll usually have a few more lords that want to join you. Okay, so Nizar is my new minister, and I gave him an outfit. And you can see I have many more options now. And actually, while I'm at it, I should build a school here. And then I should also build a prisoner tower. This is unexpected. So they didn't retaliate at all, and they gave me a peace treaty. So if I accept this, I will get more right to rule, but I'll be bound by a peace treaty not to attack them for a certain amount of time, or I'll lose honor. Nah, I'm not gonna accept it. Okay, so I was waiting and training troops up with trainer, and I accidentally ran out of food. So my party took a big morale hit, and now it looks like Borcha wants to leave my party. So maybe I can persuade him to change his mind. Nope. So that sucks. So now I have to find him again, but it might even take a few weeks for him to appear back in the tavern. So yeah, this just sucks. And so since Borcha defected, I'm going to be missing out on some pathfinding and spotting, but that's not too big of a deal actually. Losing first aid would be a lot worse, so I'm just gonna try to soldier on without him and find him in a few weeks. Okay, so it's been a while, so going back to the castle. Oh wow, and I see some lords want to join me. Okay, so these are just their families, but right. So this guy is an honorable lord because he has 36 relation with me, and if I click on his profile, I can learn more about him. So I'm going to accept him, my first vassal. And next I'm going to look at Lord Estrock, and he's also an honorable lord, so that's cool. I'll accept him as well. Okay, so next I'll be going for Durrin Castle, and hopefully this will go better than the last time. This layout looks really annoying actually. It looks like my archer strategy is slightly backfiring on this map. Maybe I should just tell them to hold their fire until they get to the ladder. I might try that. Yeah, damn. I should have told my archers to hold their fire, I think, because they weren't really hitting their targets anyway. And on this map, my reinforcement waves have a long way to travel, so yeah, this is just an unlucky castle. So what I need to be doing is I probably need to try to get in here somehow and just start assassinating people. So actually, I should probably have my archers charge here, and they'll be firing while they're sitting on the ladder waiting to get in. That'll probably help. So I have a couple options for this castle. So my first option is to just do what I just did and just keep whittling them down. My second option would be to auto-calc the battle, and auto-calcing is extremely effective for sieges if it's like really hard to play it out. Auto-calcing is actually really good for the siege tower sieges as well. But since I'm doing this YouTube series, I don't know if I want to auto-calc. That seems kind of lame, maybe. So I'm undecided on that right now, but I'm probably just gonna leave Durrin Castle for now and go for easier targets until I get stronger at least. Samara Castle might be good. And being on the ladder can be kind of like stupid. Like I'm about to get pushed off and take damage. Okay, I got lucky. And yeah. Wow, they have a really good like firing line right here. Like this kind of sucks. This is risky, but I have to try to break this somehow. And yeah, these archers are really annoying when they're all grouped up together like this. Like, I guess having my companions as crossbowmen isn't terrible. Seems alright, I guess. Oops. I dropped my sword on accident, so I guess I'll just use the axe. Ooh. Okay, that was a bad idea. Fuck. Getting ranged. I'm going berserk. Rambo. Ow. Wow. Actually, the casualties were really similar, which not the best. They only have 14 right now, so I think I could just take it. I don't want them to heal up. It'll make it harder. And I'm just gonna play for KDA. Like, there's no reason to risk my life here. And my companions, they will always get knocked out. Like, they'll never die, so maybe it'd be better to have them charge in as you know, infantry instead of having the crossbows. I'm undecided. All right, sick. Okay, and then this is important. So whatever you do, do not take it for yourself. because then it's going to have no troops in it. But if you choose to either defer judgment or give it to one of your lords, a bunch of troops will spawn in there for free. And if you want it for yourself, you can just defer it and then go talk to your minister and award it to yourself, and it'll be filled with troops. So yeah, just whatever you do, do not select this. So I'm going to give it to Lagerson. And as you can see, some troops spawned in automatically. I believe they're Nords because Lagerson is Nord, I guess. And actually a disadvantage of selecting to give it to Lagerson in that screen instead of deferring and potentially giving it to him with my minister is, since I gave him Samara Castle in the post-battle screen, he also automatically got Haba, so he has 2 fiefs. And Haba is the village associated with Samara Castle. So actually, I kind of regret that, and I wish I would have not done that, because I would much rather give my villages to my non-honorable lords, and there's a reason for that. So basically, when non-honorable lords join your faction, you need to give them a fief as soon as possible, because if you don't, you're going to lose relation with them very fast. But if you give them 1 fief, they'll be satisfied. And as far as I know, the honorable lords will not mind if you don't give them many fiefs. They pretty much only care about your honor. And you should prioritize giving the dishonorable lords villages. If they defect, they can't take the village with them. But let's say you gave someone a castle and they defected, then they would take that castle with them. So you pretty much want to give the towns and castles to the honorable lords, but you want to give the other lords villages. But early game, you might not have that good of a selection of lords, so you might want to give some dishonorable lords some castles just to get yourself going. And as you guys can see, just tons of lords getting indicted for treason. And this castle only has 31 right now, but Jarl Lagerson will build this up over time. And it's hard to recruit from these villages because since I'm at war with Sarian right now, I take a small invisible relationship hit with these towns right now. So it's technically under 0, so I can't recruit. And right now I'm just collecting recruit troops to stockpile in my garrison. And they won't cost much because they're just recruits, but I can train them up at a later time if I need to. And since I just hit all these villages up, it's going to take a while for the troops to kind of like respawn so that I can recruit them again. In my experience, when you recruit troops, it shouldn't be too long before I can recruit more. But I think if you leave the village alone for a while, you'll be able to recruit a bigger amount. More troops will be available if you wait longer. So I see this guy wants to join me, but I don't have to talk to him right away. But I'll just take a risk on this anyway. Oh, and he's honorable lord. That's good. And actually, since I have a lot of money to dispose, I'm going to train up a large inventory of Swadian knights and Saradan Mamluks. So a really strong strategy to employ is to have 2 armies. 1 army for sieging and 1 army for field battles. And the field army will just be all Swadian knights, Saradan Mamluks. And then the sieging army will be infantry and archers. And while you're sieging castles, you'll have the sieging army and you'll have the field army in your garrison. But let's say that a bunch of troops come and siege one of your castles. Or let's say that there's a king that's defending one of his castles. You just take the field army, go kill him, and then it's going to take a while for him to respawn and build himself up again. So then you pretty much have free reign to siege as much as you want. And you know what? This does have less reach, but I will try the military cleaver out for a while. See if I like it.